What is going on, people? It's Matt from Liquid Loans, and in this one, we're going to find out if liquid loans equals true DeFi. So with no further ado, let's go. DeFi stands for Decentralized Finance, and when people first learn about DeFi, they often think because some of the most well-known blockchains are decentralized, then all the cryptocurrencies on the blockchain must be decentralized too. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. The reality is that a huge number of cryptos and DeFi are massively centralized, and the developers retain a huge amount of control over the coins even when they're in users' wallets. If this seems crazy to you, that's because it is. Crypto was never supposed to be about trusting random people on the internet with your hard-earned moolah. In fact, crypto was originally designed to be trustless. So, as it stands, the crypto world is divided into two parts: centralized finance, known as CeFi, and decentralized finance, known as DeFi. When you buy crypto on an exchange like Coinbase or Kraken, that is CeFi. When you swap USDL, the stablecoin of the Liquid Loans protocol, for PLS or PLSX, for example, that is DeFi. To put it simply, if you hold the 12 or 24 word C phrase to an address rather than an email or password login, then you are in DeFi. Now let's take a look at some of the main tenets of DeFi. Firstly, it might go without saying, but it's fully decentralized. Operations are not reliant on, nor can they be easily impacted by a minority of users. Unlike CeFi, which has so many points of failure, it's sometimes hard to know where to begin with the downsides. Secondly, it's trustless, and in DeFi, this means there are no intermediaries, meaning no banks, institutions, governments, or middlemen handling your money. It's just you, as the user, interacting with hopefully solid and audited code that works 24/7 with no holidays or ever gets sick. Thirdly, it is completely transparent. The code that makes up the blockchain and all the assets and contracts that live on it are always viewable as all blockchain transactions. If you have an internet connection and know how to access a web browser, you can view transactions seconds after they take place, which also comes along with its own pros and cons. And last but not least is that it's global with zero border restrictions. Geographic borders hinder CeFi bank transactions from high fees, bad exchange rates, and sluggish transfer times, to name a few. When it comes to blockchain transactions, your location on the planet is irrelevant. All that matters again is if you have an internet connection. Because admin keys can be found on many supposedly DeFi projects, this is where they fall down first. Admin keys on a protocol is a deal breaker, and therefore the lack of them is the real key to true DeFi. Let's take a look at USDT, for example. If you send $100 of USDT to a friend on the other side of the world, is that transaction trustless, transparent, global, and decentralized? The answer is yes. So, USDT is true DeFi, right? Not so fast. While the transaction was trustless, USDT itself is not fully trustless because the company behind it, Tether, retains admin keys that can be used to freeze any address they want at any time. This happened in December 2021 when Tether froze over 160 million of USDT on Ethereum. For this reason, USDT is not true DeFi, along with USDC, Solana, Magic Internet Money, the list goes on. But there's more to true DeFi than the absence of admin keys, and we can't possibly forget DAOs. DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. The way most DAOs work is that holders of a particular governance token have the right to vote on decisions that will affect the protocol. And because anyone can buy and hold the token, it's decentralized. That's the idea, but in reality, developers will often hold a huge majority of the DAO token, meaning they retain all the power to make decisions on everything from liquidity to the protocol's APY and more. Put simply, the presence of a DAO or admin keys should be a huge red flag to long-term DeFi investors. DeFi has given individuals more options and flexibility than they could have dreamed of just a few years ago, but the same aspects that make it so powerful can be a double-edged sword. Cliches exist for a reason, and one of the biggest cliches in crypto is do your own research. Nowhere is this more essential than in DeFi. So now we know some of the major deal breakers when it comes to what hinders a lot of protocols from being true DeFi. How does Liquid Loans stand up against the test? Well, Liquid Loans will launch with no admin keys, no DAO, and code that is completely immutable, meaning once it goes live, it cannot be changed or tampered with in any way whatsoever. The protocol will be trustless, transparent, global, and fully decentralized. When a user decides to interact with the protocol, they will hold their keys and access to their coins. Whether they take a loan, become a stability provider, or a loan staker, they are in full control, exactly how real crypto and DeFi should be. And before deployment, Liquid Loans will be professionally third-party audited, and the full report will be made publicly available. So to sum it up, finding a true DeFi protocol is not as easy as many think, and just by calling a project or protocol DeFi, unfortunately does not cut the mustard. Many so-called DeFi projects have admin keys and DAOs, which open them up to manipulation, where just a few hold the majority of the power. Liquid Loans is true DeFi as it will launch with no admin keys, no DAO, and code that is completely immutable, and users will never have to hand their coins or keys to a third party. So I hope you enjoyed that video on DeFi and Liquid Loans. If you like content like this, do hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you're notified every time we drop new videos on the channel. You can also tap the like button, share the video with someone who you think it may benefit, and if you're feeling very kind, consider dropping a cheeky comment below for the algo. It does help us out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.